What's up, guys? Tim Halstead with DragBoss Garage. What you're looking at right there is an aluminum Cleveland block from 1968. These were SK blocks. On top of it are a set of aluminum heads and a jack Roush intake. Now you might be able to read some of the top description of this, but this was an engine that was for sale on the Facebook Cleveland page by George Bastiras. It has the A3 heads, ran Ross pistons, Child and Albert's aluminum rods. The Roush intake had a 4/125 bore and a 3 1/4 stroke. That thing must have been high winding. I would love to have an old block like that. You can see, maybe not in this picture, but you will see in the other pictures, that this block was set up to have extra head bolts. The bottom end was said not to be that strong. I believe they have 7/16 main studs instead of 1/2 inch. Now this was an SK block. You can see the aluminum rods, definitely a high winding engine. The classic A3 exhaust ports. There's the provision for the extra head studs or bolts. Nice pop-up piston. Now what you're going to see here is another aluminum Cleveland block. This was offered to me from a guy in England for $150, but the shipping was exorbitant, so I passed on it. Now we're going to see the aftermath of destruction. There's a picture of the pan rail where the oil pump mounts. There's some part numbers there. Might be able to get some information from that. The pictures you're going to see are all the welds that were performed on this block to get it back into racing. Look at the cylinder walls. Whether the sleeves can take care of that seal, I don't know. Whole side of the block's gone and welded and replaced. Look at this pan rail. I would love to know the racing history of this engine. Crazy the amount of welding in this. I would like to have one of these aluminum Cleveland blocks, guys, to match the DragBoss. Here's the cam tunnel. You can see the drain backs and the lifter bores. There's no bushings there. Now I got these next pictures from Cushman. These are aluminum Cleveland heads. I don't know how many pair they made, but they're rare as hen's teeth. You can see the classic Cleveland combustion chamber. Now, one of the things they did to these heads is they high ported them already on the exhaust ports. And I believe these may be Trans Am style intake ports that are a little smaller than the Cleveland 4V heads. Look at the high ports. That's a beautiful view. And the next picture is even better. So thanks, Cushman, for hooking me up with these pictures. The bottom of the cylinder head looks like it could have provisions for the extra head bolts. Now, the next cylinder heads were actually sold through Ford Motorsport. And they were tunnel port SVO 351 Cleveland heads. And other parts are listed in this ad. And Cushman has a couple sets still brand new in the box. I think these were set up for NASCAR but never ran. Or they may have been, yes, they were ran and outlawed on the first race. I believe Jay told me that. And it might not have been NASCAR, but one of his circuits that he runs. It's cool to see these parts. And look at those exhaust ports. What kind of engine does that look like? Yeah, I know. I won't say it. The combustion chambers themselves are more modified, like a modern combustion chamber. I suspect those are titanium valves. Now here's the unique thing, the tunnel port. Check that out. Now I know he said they ran quite well, at least the set he has. Be great to put these on a big inch Cleveland. There it is, TP-2. Now the next heads are Ford A4 heads. I've run A3 heads for 20 plus years, and I've never seen a set of A4 heads. I never even knew they existed. Now they made different phases of A3 heads, whether these are involved with that series or not. These heads have been extensively modified. Look at all the welding around the rocker stud area. You can see the intake ports have push rod tubes to move the port over somewhat. The D-shaped exhaust ports. Love this type of stuff. I'd love to run these and see how they work. It probably had the classic combustion chamber of the Cleveland, but they've rounded it out when they ported them. Now the heads were sold to Jimmy Huff, and he built a motor with them, 336 cubic inches. He did some work to them. You can see it's got new Ferrara valves. He put on, I think, T&D rocker arms. Look at the size of those push rods. So you know he's running high spring pressures. Now, I'm not sure if he raced this at Sega in his 64 Ford wagon with a stick. But there again, look at the welding throughout that area. This is a better view. Piles of aluminum weld around the spring seat, the rocker arm pad. Beautiful looking. Now you can see that's on a Windsor, so this is a cleaver. Little tunnel ram and 2.4s. Check this out. I hope you guys have a great holiday season, and remember, you're always learning something new at DBG, so stay tuned.